Welcome to another episode of the Smart Real Estate Coach podcast, your source for actionable real-life examples and advice to help you move to the next level of investing. Each week, we help you make a quantum leap in your business, your finances, and/or your life. We want to help you take back control, help you thrive during chaos, and lead you through the current crisis to a better tomorrow. For more resources, check out smartrealestatecoach.com and be sure to give us a rating and review on your favorite platform.
Okay, Wicked Smart listeners, it's Chris Pre, your host again, for another Wicked Smart Masters class. Today I'm going to hang out with Mr. Solomon Thimothy. He's a marketing obsessed, I love that word, entrepreneur with a proven track record of building organizations. And he's dedicated to helping small business owners scale and achieve growth. There are not too many organizations because I'll tell you, in particular, our company, Wicked Smart and Smart Real Estate Coach, has been part of a scaling coaching company that helps us grow over the years since 2018, and they don't work with smaller entrepreneurs. Solomon's got over 18 years experience in growth marketing, and he understands the challenges that you face and the businesses face in general when you kind of feel stagnant with growth. As the founder of OneIMS and the co-founder of ClickX, he leverages data-driven models to help companies struggling to increase market share, grow their bottom lines, which is important. And his expertise also provides businesses with the strategies they need to achieve measurable and sustainable success. I thought it'd be a really cool fit for some of you out there that are scaling, and for some of you out there that figure like I did in 2017, moving into 18, how the heck do I do that as a solopreneur? That was me. I was stuck in that mode for years and years. Okay, Solomon, with that as a backdrop and a little bit of history, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me, Chris. I'm excited.
Yeah, as I said in the intro, I want to dive into a bunch of different areas, only because since 2018-ish, as a company, we've been attached to a company that helps people scale. So first of all, how did you land here? Like a little bit of kind of behind the green curtain, right? How did you get to where you are today and doing what you do? And then we'll dive in and start peeling back the onion.
Yeah, great question. So I started in 2006, and I was just a self-taught web developer. I didn't know anything else. I learned how to build websites, and now these are the early days of domain names. Chris, people were just getting their own domain names. They didn't even have a website. And I learned that, and this was just me in early 20, 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is not like I went to Harvard and learned how to grow a business. And we probably built up about 100 websites, believe it or not, and I made a good business out of it. And all these customers would come to me and said, well, where's the money? Like how does this make us more clients, more revenue, more business? Like, what do you mean? You wanted a website, I built you a website. This is amazing. Look at this. I mean, our team thinks this is the best thing since sliced bread. And essentially what they're saying is, how does this generate revenue? Like you just said, scale, money, we have goals. We got quotas for our salespeople. So, I learned what pivoting is in my business. Today it's like a flashy word. We pivoted. Well, at that time, we're like, either we listen to our clients and figure out how to make websites, be a rainmaker.
Yeah.
Or we won't have a business. That's the easy way to put it. So we went back to drawing board and we added lead generation as the component that drives everything we do. So we would only work with somebody if they're looking to grow, if they're looking to scale, if they're, as you just said, and we don't build websites. It didn't matter to us anymore. But that was our business. Think about getting rid of your business.
Yeah.
For something greater. So needless to say, that worked. That one thing made all of our customers happy, brought referrals. So today, if I work with an entrepreneur, if it's a good fit, we don't just want to build them a website. We don't just want to run some ads for them. We really don't care about slightly better social media presence, because that doesn't really do anything. I've yet to have an entrepreneur come to me and say, man, I made millions of dollars from my Facebook page.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't happen unless you're really good at creating content. You still don't get. So they get they get sales from leads. They get sales from people interested in what they are doing, and they're in market for what it is that they do. They are qualified buyers, and they'll provide a solution. And if it's a good fit, they make a transaction. And so that's how we learned. And we learned the hard way, the hard knocks, of business.
So I got a question around that from a business standpoint. Then we'll go back to what you do, because I'm super curious in some of the areas. My business question from the entrepreneurial standpoint, the Wicked Smart listeners, is when you made that decision, I would assume you had a bunch of sites out there that supposedly would be in service, and then you made this pivot. How long did that whole pivot take? And what was the most difficult piece?
Well, we pivoted a lot in business, but that one was, it was very straightforward, because we had a very, at the time, like super high end design team who was all about aesthetics and so much about looks, and we're modeling after all of the websites that get awards, and someone who went to school for this. They really clearly want to make a portfolio out of every website, which I get, and I appreciate that. And I still have amazing design. But the challenge was, if it didn't get any leads, my clients didn't care.
Right.
They didn't care. So the hardest thing was getting our team to be aligned with the goals of our clients, more so than being a portfolio piece. We weren't trying to put, get the website on a shelf here behind me and say, well, look at this website we built. Isn't that great? Because nobody cared. And even to this day, organic traffic is declining. So if you don't do something amazing for search engines to find you, no one's going to go there, right? Like, most people aren't going to corporate websites and just so we can study. Maybe if you're looking for a job.
Right.
Yeah. They're going to look for some landing page that you have about a product and see if they want to learn more information, fill out a form, and they're done.
Yep.
So,
okay. So talk about size companies. Do you deal with everything from the solopreneur on up, or has that evolved?
It definitely has evolved, right? The solopreneur, unfortunately, does not have what it takes to grow and scale until they can put, more and more time and energy into it. And so we fortunately have different kind of tiers. So we do have what we call an SMB, which is the smaller businesses, maybe less than $3 million, trying to grow. Maybe it's brick and mortar. But beyond that, if you go into some of the B2B companies, they go into 10 and 20 and $50 million and up in revenue. And those are the ones that we probably would implement some sort of a HubSpot, or, you name it, a revenue operating system, so we can track leads, sources, what happened with the leads. Anything from a revenue operations perspective, we need to track, right? At the end of the day, the only reason they even bought those tools is so they can make more money. But the challenge is they don't have anybody to run the tools. They don't have internal resources. They have good dreams. And so our team comes in and we'll start implementing that for those level of companies.
Got it. And is that, so revenue wise, under 3 and over 3? Okay. And then is your model, and you can share as much or a little as you want on this, is your model a rev share model? Is it a set thing with the rev share? How does it work?
Yeah, it's a great question. So some of our best amazing clients have, given us more skin in the game, because they really, here's the thing, Chris, you've been in business long enough. You'll have your players in your company you do not want to lose. You're like, hey, these people are the reason why we have a business, right? So when we become that trusted advisor to our clients, there's lots of times where they want to take us with them. If they're going to get acquired, they want us to be the marketing arm. If they're going to go do something else, if they're going to acquire other companies, they want to make sure that we're going to come in and try to consolidate the tech and whatever else that they're going to be doing. And they don't want somebody who's going to just sit there and send invoices like attorneys, right? Here's 15 minutes, here's a half hour. It's not really a great relationship, right? So those are our best clients. I mean, we love them to death, right? So the other kind of clients are the ones, they're more traditional, some sort of a retainer because they have cash flow. They want to make sure it's $5,000 a month or whatever it is. They have consistency in their expenses. Those tend to be the everyday, ordinary sort of engagement because it's easy for them and it's easier for us, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And from an SMB model, it would be much more of what they need. right? Chris, if you woke up one day and said, hey, Solomon, build me an entire Facebook ad funnel and all that, and whatever we end up charging, that's it. We're not. We want to make sure this is going to actually, my secret is, I want to make sure this is going to 10x your revenue, or else don't even do it.
Yeah.
That's how we look at everything. If you pay me 50 grand, I better be making you $500,000.
Yep. Is there you said up to 3 million-ish. Is there a level? I'm going back to my history. When we hit $1 million back in, I don't know, 2017, I started saying, okay, I got to get out of that solopreneur seat and figure out how to grow this. And therefore I better find someone who knows how to do that. So it was different as a consulting versus you guys hit the revenue pretty hard. Sounds like. Is there a level that doesn't make any sense whatsoever? You know what I mean? To call you revenue wise.
No, because we have I just spoke to an entrepreneur yesterday. They're coming from the home services industry that was doing really well, but somehow they took some left turns and right turns that didn't end up, where they wanted to be. So the individual, this is an entrepreneur, he's splitting up and saying, hey, I'm going to start my own company. He has $0 in revenue, but he's got in the next 12 months, maybe somewhere between $5 million of business that he can bring in.
Yeah.
Is he going to spend a bunch of money? He is, but he's a zero at the moment.
Got it.
But he still needs, let me just be honest, right? The guy needs a website. The guy needs all of the things to look legit, because these other companies aren't going to write him a check if there's not even a Google business profile.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he's in a hurry to get all this stuff ready, because without that, and him and his business partners cannot go and knock on doors and be like, yeah, we're XYZ company. And we're here to, bid on this project. They're going to be like, who are you? Like,
yeah,
you even have a license? Can I look you up? And you know what, Chris? I say with some podcasts, they don't just look you up anymore. They ask ChatGPT if there is a business called this.
Yeah.
And where ChatGPT gets his information is from Google. Your Google business profile, your Facebook pages, your YouTube channels, all the stuff that's public is how they get trained. And so, yes, yesterday we used to Google it. Today we're asking ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. And I believe that that's the next wave of what marketers need to be ready for. Is what does ChatGPT say about your business? And if it doesn't know what you do, you're pretty much doomed.
Yeah.
It's the next wave of building websites.
Yep. So what is, aside from that, like there's seen some evolution going on there, what would you say is the biggest challenge or challenges with companies you've worked with? And you get them to the point, or maybe you bang your head for a while with them. What slows you down? What's some of the biggest challenges you have with trying to get them?
Absolutely. Great question, man. Get the best questions in the house. So it really is the entrepreneur, right? So think about it. So we are only going to get to the level that we are trained. Would you agree?
Yeah. 100%. It pulls us like.
Yes. And so if we're hitting some thresholds, or, what Tony Robbins calls the glass ceilings, can't hit certain revenue, it's because it's more about us. We don't know how to get that past that. Or I like to say there's a book from Dan Sullivan. It's called Who Not How.
Yep.
It's a great book, right? Dan Sullivan is like a near and dear coach to me. And he would literally tell you that you don't have the right person in the boat to get you to the next level.
Yeah.
You don't have an AI person, or you don't have whatever it is person, a tech person, an IT person, a marketing person, a lead gen person. And it's probably one of those things that's the bottlenecking the business. So you as an entrepreneur have a choice. Be happy with where you are, or you're going to brutally be honest and say, guess what? I'm not a multiplier. I don't know what it takes. I figured out how to run this business. I know how to make my numbers work. I know how to go handshake and, you know what I mean? Go to networking events or whatever it is that I know how to do. But there's another level out there that these other companies have figured out that I may not. And one of them may be digital. I'm being completely honest, because digital is one of the ways that you can scale without the hard work. Facebook ads will show you, your ad to all your people in your ideal customer profile. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to create any content, right? So digital may be an avenue for a lot of people. But if you figure that out, it might be more Salesforce or something along those lines, right? Appointment centers, whatever it is. Different companies have different challenges, but I really truly believe it is up to the entrepreneur to break through those shells. And it really shows who is willing to do the work on themselves to get there, or complain.
Yeah.
The economy isn't good, Chris. The interest rate's the problem.
Yep. Excuses, right? Outside excuses. Okay, who wants to be the next apprentice? Pretty interesting, guys. We started this apprentice program back as a July 4th, 2024 promo. That's where it started. And it was so incredibly effective. We were just going to run it for the summer. It was so effective immediately. We kept it. It's in place now. And what is it? It allows you to get into the community, the Wicked Smart community, for less dollars than the QLS home study course sells for right now on our site. In fact, when you go to smartrealestatecoach.com/apprentice-pod, apprentice-pod, when you go there, you're going to see that as an apprentice, you're going to get over $13,000 worth of coaching, the possibility for you to touch base with us if you want to 4 or 5 times a week, and it doesn't exist anywhere out there, frankly. That's why we did it. We did it for 2 reasons. One, no one is giving you the support out there. We keep hearing feedback, which is how this was born, that other educators are not giving support. They're just selling stuff. So it doesn't exist anywhere, and nowhere in the real estate education or coaching space. And we want to help you do one thing, deals. So we've wrapped the support mechanism around this. We've allowed you to get into a Slack community with the other associates who previously were protected in Slack, and now you get to jump in there and experience that for 12 weeks. You also get to come to the In the Trenches bootcamp, which is private. It's a chance to hang out with the family team and one of the coaches for 2.25 days in our conference room, roll up your sleeves, get calls done, get deals done. If you come with leads, you leave with deals. Absolutely incredible. I could go on and on. Go to the website right now. Check out more information about the apprentice, and I'm going to give you the In the Trenches bootcamp site because you don't have to become an apprentice. It just happens to be free with apprentice and associate. So 2 links I'm going to give you, super important. smartrealestatecoach.com/ITTB-pod. That's going to give you some information about the bootcamp. If you want to buy a ticket to the bootcamp, it's more expensive, but you can. Just to come check us out. About 1 or 2 people every time we run it do just that. Or become an apprentice, and it's for free. smartrealestatecoach.com/apprentice-pod. Well, while we're doing this, so I don't forget, tell these guys how to reach you, Solomon. Anything you want to share with that? Because if I get Gavin and I forget, that would be a disservice to you.
I love that. I recently put together a simple website, and I put a free, like a training, literally. It's called 10x.info. So
Nice.
My last name is very complicated. I used to tell them to go to my website, and I can't even get them, 3 letters deep, and I'm sure they forgot me.
Yeah.
So I said it's like my whole life revolves around helping entrepreneurs 10x their business. And so everything we come down to is how do we build exponentially growing systems. So I made a free training, and I sent it out to our list, and a whole bunch of people show up to a training called How to 10x Your Business Using AI. And it was very basic. It was probably 6 months old now. And we just put that together. And every time I'm on a podcast, they always ask me, where can we get more information? I said, don't worry about me. Go to this training, watch it, learn some things, implement it. Let me be the guide, if that makes sense, to get them more and more resources. And today, honestly, you probably talk about this a lot in your podcast. It's the AI is that multiplier, right? And if we're not leveraging that in every shape and every facet of our business, we're probably not going to be, there's another book from Dan Sullivan, 10x is easier than 2x. We're probably going to be a 2x,
Yeah.
not a 10x company. And the reason I say that is you're not going to get everything done manually anymore. It's just, It's the long way, in my opinion.
Speaking of long or short way, what have you seen? And I know it's going to change, but what have you seen for timeframes for someone at 10x? Let's talk about that a little bit. That's interesting. And I'm sure you're going to say it's going to get faster, right, with AI, but
yeah, it is faster. And so we go through this process whenever we bring on a client. So let's just go to that B2B example. They're like, hey, we want to be the number 1 HR, whatever provider in this niche market. We help farmers or whatever else with their HR problems. And so typically what we do is we go through this entire process of figuring out who is competing with you, who is, what's your real messaging, what's your lifetime value, where do you get these clients from, what's that sales cycle? We call this like a strategy time. It probably takes us 60 days to come up with this, but the fact of the matter is that is your blueprint that's going to get us, when you build a house, you got a blueprint.
Yep.
You shouldn't be going into marketing, spending thousands of dollars if you don't know where the frick we're going, right? Like really figure it out. And so from our perspective, is figuring that out with the entrepreneurs and everybody else, the stakeholders, to say, this is what we plan on doing. Here's our game plan to crush our competition. And from there, typically, we're not adding services, Chris, because then there's a lot more clarity on what we need to get rid of. And that's what we double down on. So if we have wasted spend on programs and marketing, avenues that aren't delivering. So like some of our clients go and waste money on trade shows they no longer care about, but they were doing it because their competition was doing it. It's just silly things like, they were probably sponsoring a bunch of 5K runs locally because they said that's what we need to do. And they were buying everything. And when you don't get one sale, if you start tracking it, why would you keep doing this? I mean, I'm a big community guy, but I'll just donate my money. I don't need to go buy all this stuff. Does that make sense? Like you buy a logo on a 5K run, if it doesn't drive 1 cent of revenue. So our team would start to analyze that. And then we'll take all of those wasted spend, put it on the 10X opportunities, right? Like the things that we are differentiated, that other people cannot do, that we truly know it's our unique ability or a company's unique ability, then we would start to make more money. And that's what we have to do as a business. And most of the time, what all the businesses do is they add more things. They add another arm and another arm and another arm. And then they realize that they don't have a who for anything.
Yeah.
Right? And so some companies, it might be 3 years because it takes a long time to move all of this stuff in the right direction. But having that clarity, I think, is the first step. Otherwise, what we're doing is every YouTube video turns into another offer. And then you make another funnel and then you run some more ads and you're like, which one am I selling today? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It just really dilutes your marketing and your messaging. So, hey, we do this for ourselves, right? This is why we have to put tiers and categories and stuff, because we end up having to be the catch-all because we're in marketing and lead generation. And it doesn't make sense. That's why I'm saying it's always got to be what makes sense for the client and what makes sense for a consultant.
Got it. In the intro, I should have asked this at the beginning. I mentioned the two companies that you founded or co-founded. What are those? How do you differentiate those? Or are they one and the same? The OneIMS and the ClickX.
ClickX. There's OneIMS. That's our first agency we built. That's the one I told you about, the website business, the lead gen business. That is now the marketing ops for so many businesses, that run on specifically HubSpot. The second company is ClickX, which is essentially the platform we built for ourselves to grow and scale our marketing agency. So we leverage that to help other marketing agencies. So it is a platform play. So it's more of a SaaS model and resources. And our third company, I don't even know if you know, it's called IMS, which is basically a business we built to help businesses scale with AI. And we want to mess with all the other things that we have going on. And there's been an increasingly more demand from entrepreneurs asking, especially when I make trainings and tools and resources, and we ourselves leverage it heavily. It's like, how do I make things happen faster? Like you said, whether it's your sales process, even just shortening your sales cycle. How do I do that? Well, first of all, we can use AI to track how long things are taking, track what the biggest objections your salespeople are getting. All kinds of stuff can be leveraged and use that to your advantage. So every single day we're uncovering bottlenecks in businesses. And if it doesn't revolve around AI and at this moment using AI agents and things of that nature, we don't engage.
No, I love it. It's sort of like our coaching. It's so cool to have the benefit of the hindsight now, all these companies you've worked with, right? It's like us when we coach people in real estate. You have that benefit of all that stuff going on and you can now weed through it so quickly. It's awesome.
Yeah, at this moment, I got to say that the largest opportunity lies when we take our static processes, what we used to do by hand or by people, and then training AI and saying, hey, this is what we're looking to do. How efficient? What are the inputs that you need from me to give me the output? And how do you want me to, what outputs can you give me that I can use in my business to replace the process? So it's interesting. It's very early stage because every business have very legacy system. They can't just turn on AI. It doesn't work. Right. Most businesses don't have any way of getting out of their legacy system. So it's really building out. Probably it will take them years. But the fact of the matter is there'll be a lean, mean operation, and they won't have a lot of manual processes. And I'm sure it's coming to real estate faster than anything else.
Well, I can't imagine a wicked smart listener hearing this and not wanting to hang out with you and to tap into what you're doing and not feeling left behind if they don't. So I really appreciate it. What did I not hit you on, Solomon, for a question or a nugget you want to share as we sort of wrap? Like anything that...
Yeah, no.
Oh, man, I should have brought this up.
We brought a lot to the table, right? I think at the end of the day, every entrepreneur is sitting at a fork. Which way do I go? Do I just go continue doing what I'm doing and I'm probably going to be just fine, right? Like I'll probably have a great retirement or whatever it is that they're going for. But the other route is, do I want to take the challenging route? Do I want to take the route that nobody's got a blueprint on? Do I want to be the one person in my industry who's going to create something radically different from everybody else's vanilla ice cream, right? So we tend to attract those kind of entrepreneurs, the ones that are risk takers, the ones that are ambitious. And the reason is you don't have a lot of people who are willing to take risks these days. They want the easy run. Don't you think? Like,
oh, I agree. 100% agree. That's life.
Yeah. So we tend to attract those entrepreneurs and we want to help them because oftentimes they have a huge vision and may not even have the biggest budget, but they know the money's there. The impact is there. We're going to change lives. So yeah, so for those kinds of people are the ones that I think should leverage all the things we just talked about. Because at the end of the day, I don't think it's about the headcount anymore of businesses. Once AI is going to kick in fully, I think we can have 100 people staff for every business. You can literally have 100 people staff. So now what? Now what's our excuse? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now what's our excuse of inventing something that we thought we couldn't do because we didn't have the people?
Yeah.
It's no longer there. There is literally no more supply issue of intelligence. So now it's whether you and I want to work hard.
Yeah, crazy powerful, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I don't know. So that's what excites us. Maybe that's a good stop. Good point.
No, I love it. I can't put much on top of that. So guys, go to 10x.info. Thank you for that, Solomon, for the free class and the content you put out, and what you shared today was just simply awesome. And thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And the Wicked Smart listeners appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Chris. And I love your podcast, brother. Have a good one.
Thanks, buddy. Okay, Wicked Smart listeners, that does wrap up our time together today with Mr. Solomon Thimothy. I would be remiss, as usual, not to give you some of the things going on up and coming here. We're sitting at the beginning of April, so probably too late for you to get your butt over to our office in Newport, Rhode Island for the April In the Trenches Bootcamp. However, we run them quite often. Go ahead and check it out at smartrealestatecoach.com/ITT Bootcamp. Now, you'll see on the page what we do there, and you'll see on the page you can certainly buy a ticket, but it's free at every level in our company, just so you know. So it doesn't matter if you're an apprentice or you're one of the associates, you come to that for free. And at that 2.25-day event here at the office, right with me, you'll be hanging out with myself, my son and partner Nick, my son-in-law and partner Zach, and one of our coaches. They're always here. We do live calls on one day. We're structuring deals the next day. We're sending offers out. We're setting you up on appointments. So when you leave here, you actually go home and get what we call a taken, a property under contract. You can't get much more in the trenches than that, guys. It's super, super hands-on. 4 of us to anywhere between 8 and 12 of you. Go to smartrealestatecoach.com/ITT Bootcamp to learn more about that. Now, I do want to mention here a new resource that we recently added. For about 12 years, we've used one resource for our lead flow. So the lead flow would come in from this resource, and then it gets called by our virtual assistants or by us. Well, we do have a brand new one for you, and it's called Land Voice. Go to smartrealestatecoach.com/landvoice-pod, P-O-D. smartrealestatecoach.com/landvoice-pod, P-O-D. We have transferred all of our efforts for our own personal needs in our family business. Each of us in the family uses Land Voice now, and I strongly encourage you to check that out. Until the next episode, make it an outstanding week and let us know how we can help. Please be sure to share this episode with anyone and everyone that you think that could benefit from scaling their business in any shape, form, or fashion. And we look forward to seeing you guys this year at the QLS Live event in Boston, Massachusetts in October. Check it out at QLSlive.com. Hey guys, are you simply sick of juggling a dozen different software tools for your real estate business? I know I was, and I know I'm not a tech person, so it was frustrating. a subscription for this, you got a subscription for that, and they don't even work together out of the box. That's very frustrating, especially in the real estate world where your best time spent is going to be out in the field or on the phone with sellers. And now you're stuck hiring a tech guru just to make all that sync up. So let's ditch the chaos and let REI Black Book handle everything. Automate your lead follow-up, track every deal, analyze things quickly for you, make offers all in one platform. In fact, with the Wicked Smart platform, we now have access, if you're in the Wicked Smart community, to all the other associates' properties. Can you imagine that? So you're brand new in the business perhaps, and your seller looks on your website and sees 20, 30, 40 properties, instant credibility. So you're going to get everything on REI Black Book from our custom workflows for lead generation all the way to closing. It has it covered. Try it today for just $1, guys. Visit smartrealestatecoach.com/REIBB-DD. smartrealestatecoach.com/REIB as in boy, B as in boy, hyphen, D as in dog, D as in dog.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Real Estate Coach podcast. If you're ready to invest in yourself and take your investing to the next level, check out our 90-day Jumpstart program by going to smartrealestatecoach.com/jump. That's smartrealestatecoach.com/jump, because now is the time to act boldly in this unprecedented market shift.